Hello everyone, hello edupreneurs, entrepreneurs and everyone who's joining in on this challenge to grow your business within the next 30 days. This is day 2 of the hashtag 30 days 30 tips challenge, and today is about making sure that you have got your eyes focused on growth. Now, to be able to make sure that we are growing and we're growing in the right places, we have to make sure we do a check-in with our statistics. So today I'm going to tell you what stats you need to go and grab and give you some really good ideas as to some things that you can choose to start measuring in order. I'm going to move my microphone here, sorry. Just realised it's not close enough. I'm going to give you some ideas in this video of things that you can start measuring to make sure that you are growing in the right places for you. So this challenge is all about getting more exposure. It's about lifting your expert profile. So I'm going to give you some ideas here, 9 things that you can do to, of things that you can measure basically. So one is about measuring your exposure. So this is kind of how many people that you get yourself in front of. This could be, and I'm going to give you, by the way, a template. So I'm going to give you a worksheet to actually fill in. And those of you who are have access to the kind of resources course area of this, which you can get at sarahcordiner.com/30 days course, then you will be able to download that template free of charge. So in that template, and I'm just going to bring it up in front of me now so I know what I'm talking to you about. This is going to tell you kind of things that you can fill in. So you have, for instance, for your exposure areas, how many people you're getting in front of. It might be podcasts that you put out to the world. Obviously, podcasts get you more exposure. It might be videos. It could be guest posting in other blogs and magazines. Obviously, other blogs and magazines have lots and lots of readers that might be your target audience. Getting in front of those by guest posting for them is a great way to get more exposure for you and your brand, particularly if in that guest post there is a link back to your particular webpage. There might be, for instance, you could host webinars or live streams for other people's audiences. So if you're in Facebook groups, for instance, that have lots of people that are in your particular target audience area, you could contact the admins of that Facebook and ask them if they'd like to do a co-hosted webinar or a co-hosted live stream of some kind, so that again you can get in front of that audience in a way that's really, really helpful and puts, shows and demonstrates your expertise to that group of people. So number 1 is exposure, and how can you get more exposure over the next 30 days for yourself, for your expertise, and for your business. Number 2 is an area that you can measure, and statistics that you can gather are your social media followers. So how many people follow your personal profile? How many people like your business page? How many people or members do you have in a Facebook group? How many LinkedIn connections do you have? How many Twitter followers do you have? So on, so on, so on. Now, I'm not saying you have to do all of these things. You're going to pick the ones that are important for you, that work for your business, that are where your audience are. So for some of you, that might be as many channels as possible. For others of you, that might just be one of these channels is the only one that really is important for you. But what I want you to do is go and take the numbers and record the numbers in the template that I'm providing to you, so that at least over the next 4 weeks, you can measure if there has been any growth from this activity. I can assure you, if you do it, you will see some. But of course, to make this a habit going forward as well, always be recording this data, always collect these statistics. I certainly do, to see if what activity I'm doing is working, to know whether or not it's worthwhile of me continuing to invest my time in the particular activities that I've been doing. So number 1, exposure. How can you get more of that? Number 2, social media following. You're going to be recording the data for that. Number 3 is your email list subscriber numbers. So how many people do you have on your email list, or on an Excel sheet if you don't have an email list yet? If you don't have an email list yet, or an email marketing system yet, I would highly recommend that this is the time that you set one up. A lot of these email marketing softwares do have a free version. So for those of you who are just starting out, the free version is perfectly sufficient. And this is a way that you can start collecting people's email addresses, start offering an opportunity for your subscribers to subscribe to your email list. It's a way that you can deliver lead magnets and things like that. An email list is an asset in a business. If you were to sell your business, your email list is genuinely considered as an asset. So it's really important. Of course, that's the main way that you can get in touch with your customers and let them know what things that you have to offer. So go and find out how many are on your subscribers list. How many do you want? How many more do you want in the the next 30 days, and write that down. And again, don't forget there's a template coming to fill all of this in. The next thing to measure is how much authority content that you put out to the world over the next 30 days. So authority content can be a number of different things. And in the template, I've given you some suggestions of what that could be. But things like videos, courses, books, ebooks, blogs, articles, all of those kinds of things are considered content. And a lot of stuff comes under the definition of content. But I want you in the next 30 days to produce something or some things that will be considered authority content, because of course that's the primary way that an educator, an infopreneur, an edupreneur, an entrepreneur, whatever word you want to use, someone who does business, right, gets their information out to the world and establishes their credibility. That's exactly how we prove to people that we know what we know. It's by the stuff that we create and put out to the world. So, and remember, there will be more tip videos from me about what kind of stuff to create. I'm going to be giving you some tips on particular types of stuff, you know, how to blog, how to put a blog together. I'm going to make you do one during this challenge as well. So how many pieces of authority content have you got out, and will you have out by the time this challenge is finished? That's number 5. Number 6 is about building, creating or launching, if you're already there, some kind of income generating product or service. So what kind of income generating product or service, something for sale, are you either going to finally unleash on the world in the next 30 days, or are you going to prepare to unleash on the world very soon? So I want you to be measuring how many things do you have for sale right now. Literally write down the number. I have 2 services and 1 product. You know, a product, by the way, could be anything from a book, an ebook. It can be anything from 1 cent, basically, right the way up to your high-end products and services. If you don't have a product or a service yet, in this next 30 days, I want you to come up with a list of all the things that you're going to sell, and I want you to start working towards making at least one of them available for purchase within the next 30 days, so that by the end of this challenge, you actually have an income-generating product or service to give. So number 7 of things I want you to measure is how many quotes and queries and inquiries have you got at the moment, or on average come through in a week or a month. And by the end of the 30 days, I want you to measure that again. So I actually want you to go back and have a look at the last month and count how many people actually made an inquiry for my business. How many quotes did I receive? Now, one of the ways that, and again, there's going to be more tips coming on each of these individual things, by the way, but just as a by the way, one thing that early on in my business I didn't do is formalize inquiries. And so measuring this became quite a challenge. So what I did is I used my accounting software and my email marketing software to kind of formalize this process. So instead of just relying on people sending me a Facebook message or an email saying, oh, hi, Sarah, how much is your thingy service, or how much is your thingy product? First of all, I put the prices for my products on my website so that people could just go and see for themselves. In terms of my services, which obviously are more complex for people, sometimes not all your services can be given a flat price for. You might have something that requires a special quote. So what I did is I created a quote form, a simple form, electronic form on my website where people put in their email address, they put in their name, and they tick the things they want to quote for. That way you can quite literally measure the exact number of people inquiring for your service. Of course, only people that are super interested in your service are going to bother to do that. So you're getting much more qualified leads coming through. But the second part of that process, not only being able to count and measure who's inquiring for what, but then in my email accounting software, now I personally use this piece of software called Xero, X-E-R-O. What you can then do is you can add each of your quoting items as inventory in your system, so you don't have to manually fill in quote forms all the time. And then I manually sent a formal quote from the Xero system to those people with those items in there. And I've been doing that for years and years and years now. But that really allows me to then, the system actually records how much money worth of quotes and how many quotes are actually out there in the world. It makes following up a lot easier. It helps you see which of your products and services are the most popular, and it really just helps formalize that process, and the systems can then follow up your client for you, so your conversions will get higher as well. So I know I have spent a lot of time on that one, but that's really important in the conversion process for, you know, turning what you do, the information, the videos, the content that you're sharing with the world, into something that is actually going to be a business and make you money. So that's number 7, measuring the quotes, queries and inquiries inquiries that were coming into your business before this challenge and how many you're getting at the end of the challenge. So number 8, then the other thing I want you to measure is your sales and your income. So last month, how much money did you make? But also how much expenses did you have? So I want you to kind of be looking at profit margins too, and compared to by the end of the challenge, how much money did you make or have now coming through the door as a result of any business that you generate from this challenge. And number 9, the 9th thing I want you to measure will be automation that you do in your business. Automation is money. Time is money. So the more things you can get technology to do for you, the more profit you're going to have in your business. So this could be things like, can you automate the delivery of a lead magnet? Can you automate your quoting process? Can you automate, I don't know, I'm trying to think of things off the top of my head now. In fact, on my sheet, I've got some suggestions, so I'm going to consult my sheet. Can you automate quote responses? Can you automate inquiries? Can you automate your bookings and appointments? So, get yourself an automated calendar. Can you automate your social media posting? All of these things, by the way, are going to be in some of the tips I'm going to give you through this week. So look, that's this particular challenge for this week. It's really important that you go into the course resources area. It's free to collect your template to fill this information in. I do want you to do it on this template so that we're all measuring ourselves in the same way. And go and get those stats that I've just listed, but they're in the template for you to fill in. So go and get those stats. I need you to get your numbers today. This is really, really important because I'm going to be showing you the formula for actually how to measure your growth over the next 30 days. And I do believe from the last challenge, 100% of the people who did this challenge and completed it experienced growth in every single area. It's really encouraging for you because it will show you that doing this stuff works and hopefully will embed into you that habit of doing this stuff all the time. But also, it's just really, really good to see how little it can take. Doing a 2-minute live stream video every day can dramatically impact the growth of your business and the bottom line is who. So go and grab the template, fill it all in, and then make sure you leave a comment on this video at the end to say done, that you've done it. That is today's task. You have to do that before you go to bed tonight. Enjoy day 2. See ya.